Here's Goodnight Olive making her move to take the lead by a head around the far turn. Raise Kane has nearly 10 lengths to make up, so does Scooby Guando, verifying the leader. Top of the stretch, Tapit Trice is coming onto the outside. Up to the mark is running late behind Master of the Seas. Set piece down the center of the course. Master of the Seas alongside Annapolis. Here's Elusive Princess coming after Maj, and Mission of Joy tries to find room between that pair. Maj has the lead. Mission of Joy second, Elusive Princess third. The champ in front. Goodnight Olive chased all the way. Tapit Trice! Tapit Trice wins the Toyota Bluegrass.
More memories made today at Keeneland with some stakes action. Hopefully you caught some winners on the card. Hey again, everybody. Jeremy Plonk here with Horse Player Now with the Keeneland look ahead for Sunday, April 21st. It was our final Saturday card of the season here at Keeneland. Couple big stakes races unfolded. Charlie Appleby did it again. He almost ran 1-2 like he did in the Maker's Mark Mile. This time, though, in the Elkhorn Stakes, he ended up 1-3. Silver Knot with the win. Boldak, the favorite, ended up finishing third in there. Good effort from John Sadler's colt out of California to run second. But again, Charlie Appleby just is unbelievable. This horse is not only at Keeneland, but when he brings anything stateside in the U.S., and he's going to have a U.S. division now. So look out, American turf scene. Appleby here to stay. As far as the action on the racetrack today, we'll review that in just a moment. It was a big morning at Keeneland as well, as Toyota Bluegrass winner Sierra Leone was back in action. His first timed workout, one of two that it will have between the Bluegrass Stakes and the Kentucky Derby. I'm going to give you a chance to see that for yourselves in just a moment, and I'll take you through the commentary of that workout. Maybe if you're not used to watching workouts, give you a little bit of tip on kind of how to view them and what it might mean moving forward towards the Run for the Roses. Now just 2 weeks from today will be Kentucky Derby 150. 1 week from today, they will enter for the Kentucky Derby. We've got 4 days of racing left at Keeneland, the Sunday card that we're previewing right now, and then we'll also have three racing days next week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to close things out here for the spring meet. So day 13 of 16 coming up. Temperatures expected to be in the 50s on Sunday under cloudy skies. A little cooler than it's been the last few days, but dry. So fast and firm probably expected. At least a good turf course, if not firm. Should be great conditions for racing on the Sunday card. It was Mark Pope Day at Keeneland. The new coach of the Kentucky Wildcats was out at the track. I know thousands of you around the country are watching the podcast, and you're not like, well, big deal, though. Basketball coach showed up at Keeneland. It's the Kentucky basketball coach. If you've been anywhere within a 3-point shot of Lexington, you know how important that is. The new coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, Mark Pope, visiting today. So, you know, the Pope visited Aqueduct, I believe it was in the early 1980s at the racetrack, and he had the grandstand and did his mass there. I don't know who was more excited, the people to see Pope John Paul at Aqueduct back in the 80s, or whether it was Mark Pope visiting Keeneland today, but certainly the crowd was excited to see him. Another big day for the horses from Turfway Park. They won 4 races on the card on a Saturday. We talk about Turfway winning on blue-collar days. On a Saturday, 4 runners from Turfway coming out of races at Turfway Park, 1 on the card today, including the opener. The opener gave him 26 wins for the meet. That tied the total for all of last spring. So you think about it. This was day 12, the first race on the card, and they matched what they did in 16 days last year. Of course, 3 more winners would come in. We've now had 29 winners for the meet. Last race at Turfway Park. We talked about this at the beginning of the season, but it's coming to fruition. The Turfway winter scene has gotten better and better and better over the last 2-3 years. And this year especially, they're having a bigger say on what's happening here at Keeneland. So some of those stats and trends that we've leaned on for, the last 5, 6, 7 years, starting to turn a little bit here. I mean, you've got to look at the year-round Kentucky horses with a lot more seriousness than you had in past years. So 4 winners from Turfway today, one of the big stories. Wesley Ward and John Velasquez teamed up to win 2 races on the card. They got their groove back in the turf sprint ranks, kind of all as expected, I guess. Ward had been a little bit tepid in the turf sprints this meet, but was back on the beam today. Wesley Ward's 2 wins today now give him 9 for the meet. He's in the lead for the trainer standings going into the final 4 days of racing, Sunday, and then again, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 2 wins each for Flavien Prat and Luis Saez today. With a couple big-name jockeys out of town, you thought maybe one rider might just kind of take over and dominate today. Didn't work out that way. Riding doubles again for Saez and for Prat. Excellent days for them, but no dominant rider in the Colony, while on the road at Oaklawn today was Joel Rosario, Florent Giroux, and also on the road today was Jose Ortiz. So those 3 riders made the road trip. They're all scheduled to be back, travel permitting, obviously, but knock on wood, they'll get safe travels back home. They are all expected to be back at Keeneland for the Sunday card. Giroux did get 1 win on the road trip to Oaklawn in a maiden race, but the real reason they were there was because of the $1.25 million Oaklawn handicap, and Jose Ortiz, second in the standings here at Keeneland for the spring meet. He made the most of leaving a Keeneland Saturday for a 2 stakes card at Keeneland like this. He left to ride Skippy Longstocking in the big $1.25 million Oaklawn handicap. They romped to victory. So it was a good road trip for Jose Ortiz, and his great spring continues. Again, he's got a big chance of winning the leading rider title here for the spring meet with a strong finish. He's right in the mix, even giving up a Saturday. But you give up a Saturday to win a race worth, what, $1.25 million. So a big day today for Charlie Appleby, of course, running 1-3 in the big stakes race. As for yours truly, the handicapping went decent. We had 2 nice winners, one nice winner and one kind of favorite there in Kingsbarn winning the stakes race. But it was over $20 in mutuals today, $20.84 back on those 2 winners. So took $20 to bet the top picks. We made 84 cents, a mild slight profit on the day. But that continues to run us up the profit for the meet. We're now up to $41.94 up if you bet every one of our top picks for the meet. So we've got a reasonable chance here with 4 days left of beating the meet and having a positive ROI for the 3rd time in the last 4 meets. We've done it 2 of the last 3. Let's knock on wood. We don't want to say that you can close things out. We had some bad days last week where we had an 0 for 9 day, a 1 for 10, that kind of thing like that. So it can happen. We just hope it doesn't happen here over the next several days. We want to finish this meet as strong as it's been for us to this point. Carry over in the Super High 5 to the Sunday card. We'll get to that right now. Final race on the program Sunday, the Super High 5, race number 9. Carryover will be $11,895. So $11,895 for the Sunday carryover. Now, we mentioned this morning that the big horse was in action for the 3-year-olds from a Keeneland perspective, that being Sierra Leone. Let's take you to the morning here, the courtesy of the Keeneland TV department, as the morning work was going to be set up here in company with a horse named White Palomino, who's already won here at the meet. Right now, what they're doing with the pony, they're just ponying this horse to the pole, as they say. The pole is where they will break off the 6 furlong pole for a 6 furlong workout. But this horse is going to work a half mile. So we're waiting to see the second red pole that we're going to break off from here. Just broke off inside the 6 furlong pole. So as you see, or coming up to the 6 furlong pole here, just going to gallop easy to this point. And this is how you start out of work. Rider Chris Bond is aboard, the exercise rider for Sierra Leone. They're going to pick up the workmate in just a little bit. The workmate didn't go with the same pony, obviously. So as they kind of get set here and just kind of get into stride, know that morning workouts are timed from the pole to the wire, done by hand by a clocker. So these are estimates. It's not the official teletimer like we see in a race, but these clockers do an excellent job of catching these horses right on the pole. So you can get a pretty accurate time. Just past the green pole. The green poles are the 5/8 markers. The 8th markers are in green. Your red markers are going to be the quarter poles going around the racetrack. So the next one they come up on to is going to be the half-mile pole, and that's where this workout's going to start. So you see White Palomino comes right on cue. They just passed the red pole, and there's White Palomino to engage. It's interesting that Sierra Leone's a come-from-behind horse that doesn't have a lot of early speed. That Chad Brown, the trainer, put this horse on the inside in this workout to get the competition up on the outside. In his races, Sierra Leone's used to coming around horses, because he's a come-from-behind type. So this is going to get him into the work a little bit more. He's going to be a bit more aggressive as they pass the quarter pole here, and he's doing it really nicely in hand. Look at the arms of the rider here, Chris Bond, the white sleeves on the inside, not moving the elbows at all. This is great, not asking for anything. The stride is good, but notice this horse has a little paddle in the front left. If you look at that front left leg, it kind of swims, if you will. That's a little inefficiency that Sierra Leone's had in all the works and all the races. This is just his gait and his way of moving. It's not the best way to stay sound for a long time, but he can certainly race and race very effectively with it. This is a good workout. Splits were 12-2, 24-1, 36-4. The final work is 48-4. And look at the way he gallops out here. Beautiful gallop out. 101-1 for the gallop out to 5 furlongs, and then galloped out another furlong to 115-3. Excellent workout. If you are looking at Sierra Leone and wondering how he came out of the Bluegrass Stakes, the answer to that is aces. This is a fantastic workout, and this is the workout where you want to work strongly. We're 2 weeks out from the Kentucky Derby. The next workout, this is the one that's going to get all the attention. The next workout, next Saturday at Churchill Downs when everybody's on the grounds. But that's just a maintenance move. You don't want anything bad to happen. You want to keep the horse happy. You want him to take a little edge off from, not doing anything too strenuous for a week. So you got to kind of knock the edges off a little bit so the horse is, relaxed more and stalled during the day and things. But you're not looking for a big-time workout in that last workout. This is the one where you want to see it. Sierra Leone passed that test with flying colors today. He is coming into the Kentucky Derby outstanding. He is going to absolutely be one of the main factors in the race. Now, he's got to come from behind style. You can negotiate and discuss with another handicapper whether or not he'll get a clean trip, whether he'll lose ground, whether the track will be playing fast that day. I mean, from a handicapping and gambling standpoint, we can talk about whether or not he's going to be a good bet at the odds, what's fair value. But if you want to talk about a horse who's coming up to the race well, his race in the Risen Star was fantastic. That has come back to be a very key race with other horses out of there running well around the country. And his Bluegrass was even better than that race. And since the Bluegrass, this is the first chance we got a chance to see him do anything of seriousness. And he looks fantastic. So good news out of Keeneland this morning for the big horse. So we'll welcome back our jockeys, Rosario, Giroux, and Jose Ortiz on the Sunday card. And let's get to our handicapping now. The audience is all gathered around, give you a little extra time at the front of the podcast. And now we're set to go to handicap on this program for Sunday the 21st. 9 races on the card. There are no stakes races. My key plays of the day in orange will come up in races 3, 4, and 8. The swing race on the card is race number 5. By swing race, I mean it's part of the early and late pick 5. The race 1 pick 5 starts races 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then race number 5 is going to start the late pick 5, so it'll be races 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Pick 6 will be on race number 4. There is no carryover in the pick 6 going into the Sunday card. Keeneland Turf Pick 3, we should have great turf racing. Turf Pick 3 is on races 5, 7, and 9. Again, Toyota Super High 5 in race number 9. The finale does have a carryover for us, $11,895. We're going to get into the handicapping now. Go to race number 1, then take a look at the Keeneland Handicapper Selectors box, the consensus grid from Keeneland.com. You can download this for yourself. It's a good print function, too. It prints out nicely on a one-pager for you if you want to take this with you to the track or on your desk while you're handicapping from home or out and about. In the opening race, I'm going with number 4, Hoodlum. Hoodlum's the only one picked on top by me, but others have this horse in the mix. Everybody gives this horse a top 3 play in this particular spot. We've got starter allowance runners in here going 1 mile and a 16th. They've had to start for a 10,000 claiming tag at some point to be eligible for this race. Hoodlum's a horse coming off of wins in 3 of its last 4 starts. 3 of his last 4 starts. He's been in the exact of 5 straight, super consistent from the fairgrounds. Joel Rosario back to ride. Again, Rosario was on the road. He has not had a good meet. This has not been a Joel Rosario kind of meet, but still very capable rider. We know that. Maybe potentially Hall of Fame credentials. Rosario will be aboard Hoodlum for trainer Al Stahl. He's the top pick in here for me. Number 1, Sense You Left, is another street sense. This one's got some inside speed from the rail, stretching out from 1-turn races at Gulfstream in 2 of the last 3. So going around 2 turns, this horse should show good early speed. Speed from the rail by Street Sense, who's had another great meet with Offspring here at Keeneland. I would expect the 1, Sense You Left, to lead them a long way in this particular spot and be tough to run down. I think the 6, Sitting on Go, could go with the 1 and soften that one up just a little bit. So I got the 2 speed horses holding on underneath, but the 4 Hoodlum maybe just clocking them and catching them at in deep stretch. That's the way I see the race. Sitting on Go, the 1, Sense You Left, the speed, the top picks for some of the other handicappers. The 3, Crazy Legs Hirsch, the top choice in here. Coming out of Penn National races, interesting pick on top for Kim Nelson on Crazy Legs Hirsch, a horse who loves to win races, 14-time winner from 44 starts. And it's run outside of, this horse has been in Kentucky in the past, but has been in in Penn National races over the past half year or so, going back to the fall. So Crazy Legs Hirsch, top pick in here for Kim Nelson. I'll go with the 4 Hoodlum, though, to get things started in the opener. Let's go to race number 2 on this Sunday card. It's going to start the early pick 4 baby race here. We've had 5 of them at the meet. These baby dashes, 2-year-olds, are Wesley Ward territory. We know that. 5 of them held so far this meet. 4 of them won by Wesley Ward. So if you go back to the beginning of the dirt era, returning to Keeneland here in a spring meet, which was 2015, 82 baby races, 45 Wesley Ward winners. He's got the 2 in here, Dream Away, as well as the 8, Johnny Come Lately. He hasn't, I don't know if he's run 2 of them in a race the whole meet. He seems to scratch one when he's got 2 entered. Dream Away, the 2 is going to be my top pick in here. If he doesn't go, then you switch to the other Ward in here, the 8, Johnny Come Lately. Dream Away gets John Velasquez to ride. This is a John Oxley, homebred. Good works in the morning, bullet work here at Keeneland. Of course, you want your horses to have a local Keeneland workout. Do not overemphasize horses running back second time in the meet in these 2-year-old races. They get bet, they get over bet a lot of times. There's only been, I want to say 4 of them have won. Again, going all the way back to 2015, 82 races we talked about. I think 4 of them have been horses, 3 or 4 that have run back second time at the meet. The exact numbers in my written blog. Be sure to check the written blog out with all the stats and trends that we don't get to here on the podcast. But Hootenanny's the sire of the 8, Johnny Come Lately. He sired 2 winners in 2-year-old races last spring meet, both trained by Wesley Ward. Of course, Ward trained Hootenanny back in his heyday. So the 8, Johnny Come Lately, certainly has pedigree to play. Well, I was a little concerned with Johnny Come Lately is there's a big gap in the workout tab between March 25th and April 13th. Either the clockers missed the work in between or the horse needed a little time after that bullet workout on the 25th and then didn't work again until April 13th. So that's one of the reasons why I lean towards Dream Away of those 2, even though the 8's kind of got a more exciting pedigree, I think, to be a player here right out of the gates. I think the 2's got the better workout tab to this point. You got Johnny Velasquez on the 2. So I go 2, 8, and 4. Nothing too clever in this spot. Clever, again, is the 4 for Steve Asmussen. Asmussen hasn't had any success here, really, with the 2-year-olds in recent years. Back in the Polytrack days, Asmussen used to win a lot of baby dashes here at Keeneland, but he hasn't won one in several years. I think he's got 1 win, and it goes back to like 2016, 2017, something like that. It's been a long time since Asmussen won with a 2-year-old, but the 4 is an American Pharoah with Rosario aboard. So, we'll see what happens there in race number 2, but I don't see anything too creative in this particular spot to be jumping on. We move our attention to the 3rd race, and as we look in this spot, I've got the 3 Timeless Elegance on top over the 8 Exhilarate and the 9 Sagesta. This is one of my key plays of the day in race number 3. You're going to see races 3, 4, and 8 in orange. Those denote my key plays on the program. Timeless Elegance, great post position in here. I love the move from an outside draw at Turfway last time, going around 2 turns. The Turfway horses are running. They're running big, and they continue to run big, even on the grass. In the past, it was a case where you didn't play the Turfway horses on the grass here at Keeneland. They'd win the cheaper claiming races and the lower level maiden races here at Keeneland on the dirt, but they wouldn't have success on the turf. That's not been the case this meet. You got to kind of change some of your thought process and what you're looking at. Timeless Elegance, Jose Ortiz riding, second start off the layoff. I love the pattern. I love the rider assignment in here. Trainer Jonathan Thomas, high percentage trainer. And of course, this one's by Warfront, one of the top sires percentage-wise here on the turf at Keeneland. So a lot to like. That's how you conspire to become a key play of the day for me. Timeless Elegance here in race number 3. Great post, again, to go that 2-turn mile race. As for the other handicappers, I'm teamed up here with Tom Leach. I love it when Tom and I agree on a horse who could be a fair price, so we'll definitely be more excited about that. Then the others, are spread out. We've got 4 different horses picked on top amongst the 5 handicappers. The 1 Star Anise, the 7 Speak Up, and the 9 Sagesta all get some action in here from the other handicappers. The 8 Exhilarate is another Warfront, right? I like Warfront as a sire here on the turf at Keeneland. He's the sire of both the 3 and the 8. Exhilarate, and Exhilarate's out of the Star Mare Elate. What a blue blood Claiborne Farm runner this is. Homebred for trainer Bill Mott. Hasn't done a ton in the career to this point, but there's a lot of pedigree there to like and respect. And this doesn't look like the strongest the strongest 3-year-old maiden special. Sagesta, the 9 for Chad Brown, makes sense. Of course, Brown had another win, I think, today. Did he ever win on the card today? Brown's horses have been running well at the meet for sure. And, this is a Juddmonte second place finisher last time down at Tampa Bay Downs. Should fit well in this spot. But I love the 3 in this particular spot. So 3 over the 8, 9, if you want to go a little bit deeper for some exotics horses underneath for tries and supers. The 11's one that I'm interested in on the underneath side. Claret Beret. Brendan Walsh is having a really good week. This one, again, from Turfway. You might get the right price on this one. And, Giants Causeway is the grandsire, of course, the sire of Not This Time. And certainly we can see that skip a generation kind of turf pedigree show through. I would expect the 11 might be all right here, switching from the synthetic to the turf. So I've got this one. The 3 is a key play over the 8, 9, and 11 is how I'm going to attack race number 3 on the program. Let's move now to the 4th race on the Sunday card to pick 6 starts here. I've got another key play wheeling right back here. And this one's a price play, 15-1 in the morning line. And it is Songbridge. I'm going with the Songbridge here in the upcoming 4th race, the 5-horse. Songbridge picked on top by Gabby as well, but we're the only 2. We're sharing the island, if you will, in this particular case. Nobody else has Songbridge amongst their top 3. This one comes in from Fairgrounds for trainer Dallas Stewart. I chased a couple Dallas Stewart horses today. One didn't really pick up their hooves and run at all. The other one ran decently and came on for a mild close. Songbridge is a horse who ran 3rd on in a dirt race. It was all the way back in February of 23. This horse has had a really spotty race career, only 4 starts and a big year-long gap in those races coming back from injury. But last time this horse went 2 turns on the main track was a good 3rd against Comparative, who was already a 2-time stakes winner since then. So that was a really good race. So the only time this horse has run 2 turns on the dirt, which race number 4 is, maiden claimers going a mile and 16th, it was a really good race against a 2-time stakes winner. Blinkers go on, sired by Connect. Connect has a really nice percentage here with offspring on the main track at Keeneland. You'd expect that, Connect being a son of Curlin. So a lot of that Curlin pedigree passing down to Connect, which is passing down to his offspring, and they run well here over the main. So give me the pedigree. You got a back class and a horse who's getting back to what they should be doing. Blinkers on in this particular spot. So I'm going with Songbridge at 15-1 in the morning line is one of my key plays because this is one of the better long shots I have on the card. The 8th Sensible Choice is another street sense you want to respect over the main track here at Keeneland. Maturity Date's one that, frankly, horses like Maturity Date are winning during the meet here. So maybe, we're all just trying to do a little too creative in here. Maturity Date is the top pick in here for Kim, but this is a maiden special weight class dropper for Chad Brown, leaving the Aqueduct Gulfstream scene. We've seen these horses run really well on the class drop. And when Chad Brown dropped from maiden special to maiden claimer, he wins 38%. So look, we're trying to buck this one. I don't like the horse on paper per se, but the surroundings and what we've seen so far this meet, you could certainly make a case. And this horse really has soiled form last time running on the turf. So if Maturity Date pops in here, I've got the horse picked 4th. 5, 8, 4, 7 is the way I've got this one. Connect is also the sire of the 4, Colette's Joy. So several different pedigree angles in this particular spot. 5 over the 8, 4, 7. And I think in this particular spot, you're looking at a situation with a 15-1, a horse who's probably going to be, staying at a pretty nice price in Songbridge. Get an exacta key box in here, the 5 with the 8, 4, 7, and use those other 3 horses that I like in here. If you agree with me, if you don't agree, go play the race the way you want to. I'm not telling anybody how to bet your hard-earned, but what I will be doing is doing the 5 with the 8, 4, 7, and I'll get 1st and 2nd in here because if the 5 runs 2nd, it's going to be better than the place money to catch a nice big exacta here. So I'm going with that here. 5 with the 8, 4, 7 in race number 4, my second key play on the Sunday card. Let's go back to the snapshot, see what we got coming up next in race number 5. It's the start of the Keeneland Turf Pick 3. Turf Pick 3 will be on races 5, 7, and 9. This is a 5.5 furlong turf sprint. I love post 3, 4, and 5 in these full field turf sprints. We had a big winner earlier in the week. I think it was Friday. Now in the race today on Saturday, 3, 4, 5 exacta box would have got you about 200 and some to 1. Another nice payoff. The Wesley Ward horse, I believe from the 5 hole, got left go at 13-1, a ridiculous price on that one. Barre, who won on the turf for Wesley Ward. So The box in the power post 3, 4, 5 today worked out swimmingly. So I'm starting my look in these full field turf sprints. Do I like anybody out of the 3, 4, and 5? Those advantageous posts, and I certainly do have one I like in here, and that is number 3, Demolition Duke. It's Brendan Walsh, Tyler Gaffleone, strong connections in here. Walsh has had a really good week. This one comes off a good second place finish last time out at Fairgrounds. That was off a June layoff, so second start after the break here. I expect Demolition Duke to run a good one. This is a horse that had some back class. Last year, they thought good enough to try the Lexington Stakes, ran 5th of 10 in that one. So this is just a first level allowance race. And it looks like they found a home with the turf sprint last time because that was a good effort rallying from off the pace. Got enough turn of foot. Demolition Duke's going to save ground on this particular spot and try to rally while saving that ground. I can't make a deep closer in a turf sprint, one of my key plays of the day. So that's why I backed off here instead of making this one of the key plays. Traffic can always be an issue when you've got a horse like this, but you've got the right post to try to work it out and find that trip. Salt Spray for Wesley Ward. The 12 has to be respected as well as the 7. Jefe de Abra. That's also Wesley Ward. Again, Ward won a turf sprint today at a big price. It's his second turf sprint win in the meet, and he by far leads all trainers who have trained at Keeneland over the last 15 years or so in turf sprint victories. Just a dominant in this category as he is almost in the 2-year-old baby races. Could be a good card for Wesley Ward. You got a turf sprint in race 5 where he's got a pair entered. You've got a baby dash in race number 2. So the leading trainer at the meet who won 2 races on the Saturday card, he's going to be in a very good spot to potentially win at least 2 more on the Sunday program. But give me the 3 on top of the 2 Wards in here. If you want to mix the 4, the 5 in this particular spot, don't love the 4 a whole lot on paper, and the 5's kind of hard to recommend off the last start, stumbling and losing the rider. But prior to that, the form is just kind of okay in synthetic races at Gulfstream. I don't have a lot of endorsement for the 4 and the 5 in here, but I sure do like the 3, Demolition Duke. We'll see if we can't get that one on top of the Wards. I wouldn't go trifectas in this particular spot because I think the Wards would be pretty well backed. So you're just looking at straight exactas, 3-12, 3-7, bet the 3 to win if you can get a fair price. To me, Demolition Duke, fair price to win. Anything over 3-1, I'd be happy with. I don't think we have to take a short price, but I would take 3-1 on Demolition Duke. You've got to overcome something, playing a turf sprinter coming from off the pace as far back as he was last time. So you got to make sure you get a fair price in there. Don't take 8-5, 7-5 if the public goes crazy betting the 3 Demolition Duke in the 5th. Let's go to race number 6, hit the back half of the final 4 here on Saturday. On Sunday. The late pick 4 starts here in the 6th race, and this is one where Lake Superior for Rick Dutrow is an interesting one. I don't think he's going to be the favorite. Dragoon Guard for Brad Cox probably goes favorite. A horse who debuted, a great pedigree for this Juddmonte homebred by Arrogate. Brad Cox trains Dragoon Guard, second place finisher to Otto the Conqueror, who went on to win the Springboard Mile, I believe. He won some big races in the fall last year and into the Triple Crown season this year. So Otto the Conqueror, certainly a good company line for Dragoon Guard. You respect the horse, but coming off the layoff, I think the one that's a little sneakier probably is the 2 Lake Superior. Not sneaky in the sense that you're going to get much of a price. These 2 are going to get bet in here, but it's a former Bob Baffert charge, $1 million Keeneland September yearling, and switching now to Rick Dutrow. That's the part from Baffert to Dutrow. What you think about either trainer personally and their history and where they've been in terms of the right and wrong side of the rulings. This is an interesting trainer change from Baffert to Dutrow. And Irad Ortiz gets named to ride. I get the feeling they're here with serious intent. So Lake Superior, to me, I think, is the one who can beat the 7 Dragoon Guard. Number 3, Term, just kind of best of the rest. Comes out of a pretty good race against Yellow Card at Turfway, a race that was run in a fast time and showed some improvement late. I would expect the 3 to come running here on the back end. But the 2 favorites look strong in here based on connections, based on some of their running lines and expectations. If you look across the way, Dragoon Guard picked on top by 3 of the handicappers. Nobody else taking Lake Superior. I would not get fooled by the selectors box here. Lake Superior is going to get bet. Nobody else is kind of taking the sneaky angle or the cynical angle, if you will, that I'm saying Baffert to Dutrow. But Lake Superior, only listed by me on top, and one other handicapper in the top 3 is absolutely going to be one of the top 3 betting choices in this race. It's going to get bet. So value play, I don't like this race. I'd want to try to stay away from it a little bit. I think in multi-race wagers, you're starting a late pick 4. It's either Dutrow or it's either Cox. So it's probably 2 or 7. And you just use both probably to get through here if you're looking at the multi-race wagers. If you have a strong opinion on one over the other, this is where you want to push it, because anybody who goes too deep in a pick 4 or pick 5 doubles the cost of their tickets. So, if you can cut that down, you can play the same ticket for half as much or play the same ticket twice for the same amount of money. So I'm going to lean to the Dutrow horse there in race number 6. But if anybody else wins it, now you're looking at, to me, a big upset situation. Coming up next is race number 7 on the card. The Turf Pick 3 continues here in the 7th. This is a third level allowance. You don't get many non-winners of 3 other than allowance races anywhere in the country, but this is Keeneland, and this is basically, a dressed up stakes race at a lot of racetracks. Several horses coming out of the Benson Memorial at Fairgrounds. Mensitude, a horse coming in from France, first time for trainer Bill Mott. The Turf Pick 3 is rocking and rolling here with the second leg in race number 7. And I'm going with the Mott, first timer from France, Mensitude. Also top picking here for Kim and Tom. So we're all on the 4. The 10, Kinesi, and the 7, Heavenly Appointed, are the picks for Scott and Gabby, respectively. Immensitude for Bill Mott. Mott's had 3 or 4 of these over the years, first time from France, that have come to Keeneland and win on the grass in allowance company like this. He's been down this path before. His horses are all running well at the meet. This is a Group 3 winner in France in September, so a lot of class here, and coming back at a 1 1/8 trip that really was right in the wheelhouse for this filly over in France. She won her Group 3 at a 1 1/8. She was third in a Group 3 at a 1 1/8. She won a listed stakes at a 1 1/8. This is her trip. I think she's in a good spot here because I don't think this race has any world beaters to it. The only horse coming in from Gulfstream here in the Gulfstream Turfers at this kind of level you would expect to be effective is Kinesi. Kinesi is Christophe Clement and Joel Rosario. But this one comes off a race on the synthetic. Second start off the layoff, kind of just got a little tune-up maybe on the synthetic last time. I don't know. I believe that race came off of the turf. It was supposed to be on the turf. Yes, it was. And then it came off. So they decided to keep horse in the race and just get an out of him. So probably didn't take a whole lot out of him in that particular spot. But the post is tough for the 10 Kinesi. So while I respect the runner, I think Immensitude is going to be the one to beat in here. And I would trust in Mott in this particular spot. I think this is a potential single. Now, the 3 Blissful, I have to mention this one. Cherie DeVoe trains. Blissful comes off a win at the Fairgrounds from post 10 last time. That's not easy to do. Get this with Cherie DeVoe at this current meet. She's had 7 horses this meet go off at odds of 6 to 1 or less than 6 to 1. 5 have won and 2 ran second. It's unbelievable. 7 starts under 6 to 1, 5 wins, 2 seconds. Everything she's had is live, has been live on the everything that's been live betting wise has been absolutely live on the racetrack and run to their expectations. So number 3, Blissful, one to keep an eye on in this particular spot. I've got it 4-10-3, but if you wanted to move the 3 up even a little bit more based on that, I would have no argument with that whatsoever. But I don't think we get beyond those 3 runners in here. 4-10-3. Certainly the win preference to the 4 and the 3. The 10, a horse I respect to be in the mix in here, but a tough post to overcome from that draw for a runner who kind of is forwardly placed when he fires or when she fires, but she didn't show much speed last time off the bench. So not sure what Rosario, who's not a very aggressive early jockey, is going to do, because when Castellano rode this horse, who is an aggressive jockey, Kinesi was sent to the front. That's not Rosario's style typically. So from the outside post, I'm not sure what kind of trip Kinesi's going to get, but I do respect the horse quite a bit and the connections. But give me Mott with the first timer from France, Immensitude in race number 7. Multi-race wagers, though, I would definitely throw the 3 in there as a potential horse to use. Pick 4, pick 5, because Cherie is absolutely rocking right now with everything that she sends out. To the 8th race we go, and the 8th race is our final key play on the card. We've got ourselves a 15 to 1 morning line potential play here. Trying to come from off the pace, sprinting 6 furlongs. It's not easy to do. So we took a shot on a horse like this today, and it didn't work out for us. Kind of passed some tired horses and went in the mix a little late. But Ready to Pounce is 15 to 1 in the morning line. Gets a hot pace in here. This is I would not play a closer going 6.5 at Keeneland under normal pace scenarios. But when I think there's going to be a very hot pace, then the natural fundamental handicapper in me says hot pace, somebody's going to finish. Only 2 horses on the card today on the main track won after leading after the half mile. So today wasn't one of those tracks that was just, they weren't running particularly zippy times either. It wasn't a track that was just carrying speed today. So Ready to Pounce is a horse with Jose Ortiz, the hot rider, again, coming back after the win today in the Oaklawn Handicap. The horse has a win over the track. Late running sort for Neil Pessin. We've seen it with these late running sprinters over the years. You know that with the Pessin barn. This is kind of the way he trains his runners, right? They finish up strong on the back end of sprint races. They get a lot of thirds and fourths, but they need a race to melt down to get the big victory. That's what I'm hoping happens here with Ready to Pounce, because I think there's a lot of speed in this race. Ludwig, the 1 coming off the layoff, is fast early. The 3 Higher Standard is fast early. The 5 Safa's Day's got early speed. SWOT Analysis, the 6 only knows one way, and that's to try to go to the front. There's a lot of early pace in this particular race. Champlin, the 9, is going wire to wire in both career starts at Fairgrounds for Greg Foley. We don't know how good that one is, but we know the running style, confirmed after 2 starts, hasn't had anybody get ahead in front of him yet. The 11 Bushido's stepping up a little bit off a race at Turfway last time, but that horse also has early pace about him. And the outside horse, Insolitos, had on top in 6 of the last 7 starts at the first call. So there is a just immense amount of speed in race number 8. I'm hoping we can get a closer in here, and we're going to get a price on Ready to Pounce. She's not been bet. 19 to 1, 34 to 1, 23 to 1. But you have Ortiz, right? And he's riding well, and jockeys do take money. So maybe you don't get the full 15 to 1 because of Jose Ortiz in here, but there are other horses that are in jocks and trainers that are going to take some attention. But I think with Ready to Pounce, fair odds given the setup and what she's got to do, you still want to get 10 to 1. 10 to 1 is the number we're looking for on this particular mare to try to get, or gelding to try to get there. But there is a fast pace. This is a pace play extraordinaire, but 6 furlong races at Keeneland rarely are won from that far off the pace. We know what we're getting into, but we're still going to try it. We did see that one first-time starter come from out of the clouds for Wayne Mackey a couple days ago. Came from 10 or 12 lengths back after the opening half mile. It was the biggest close we had ever seen at Keeneland on the dirt, going 6 furlongs. So it can happen, but it's going to take a price to make sure that it does happen. So demand some value there in race number 8. To the 9th we go. It'll wrap things up. The Toyota Super High 5, the Keeneland Turf Pick 3 finishes up in this particular spot. And again, reminder that the carryover in the Super High 5, just under $12,000. I don't think we're looking at a big long shot in this particular spot. I think we're looking at something very logical. We've got some prices earlier, right? We're just taking 15 to 1 in race number 8 in the morning line. But in the 9th, it's Chad Brown on the turf, and I think he's got the right one and a really good draw in Risk Threshold. Well-bred daughter of the Bowie. First career start down at Gulfstream Park. Didn't go super fast early in this race, and yet she's still close from 7th to 3rd. Looking for bargains. The runner-up has already come back to win a race. Wasn't prepared at the start, so she gets out of the gate a little bit better here. She had the rail last time, and a lot of times first-time starters from the inside post just don't handle it, They don't like the space in there. They stood in the gate longer than anybody else because generally they're the first ones to load. So Risk Threshold gets away from the inside this time, which will help. I think this is a good draw for her. She's got 3 first-time starters to the inside. Who knows what we're going to get pace-wise out of them, but I think she's the right one in this particular spot. This is a decent field, but I don't think this is one of these stellar turf races that you're looking at form-wise at Keeneland and Maiden Special Company and saying, look, there could be 2 or 3, future graded stakes horses in this particular lineup. Jonathan Thomas has got a well-bred Classic Empire Day Dawning down on the inside with a career debut. Brad Cox has the 2 Manera, but the pedigree is decent on that one. The works are decent, but there's nobody just jumping off the page that have to come out firing in here. I think the 1 Day Dawning, the best of the first-time starters based on the workout tab and pedigree to hit early. So I've got it 4, 1, and 2 to wrap things up in this particular spot. I lean to experience. We've seen this meet where horses or first-time starters have won some of these maiden races, but the numbers are still way, like 10 to 1 in favor of experienced horses versus first-time starters. So get a horse that's got a little experience. If you're going to take a first-time starter, you should get paid when you're right and get a price. I don't think the 1 or the 2 will be a very big price in here because of the connections. So I've got it set up 4-1-2, but I think the 4 wins the race. One of the first-time starters probably good enough for underneath. To wrap things up, I would single in the nightcap and just try to get through to the finale and see if you can't get Brown and Gaffleone home to wrap up your pick 4, your pick 5, and your pick 6 on Sunday. So that's it for day 13 of 16, and that'll wrap up this week's versions of the Keeneland Look Ahead podcast. Of course, first post time on Sunday will be 1 o'clock Eastern. Be sure to check out Scott and Gabby on Today at Keeneland. You also get Tom Leach's long shot pick of the day on the 11:30 show today at Keeneland. I'll update all my scratches and changes and any changes that we have to make to our selections. That'll be updated on the Keeneland website. It'll also be updated on the simulcast feed. And if you'd like to get my updates sent to you each day, be sure to sign up for my Substack. Free service, Substack, a publishing program where you get a copy from your favorite author sent directly to your email inbox. So go to Jeremy Plonk at Substack and sign up there, and I'll send you my updated Keeneland analysis each morning after the scratches come out. And then, of course, there'll be countdown to the crown information there from the 19th season of my Triple Crown scouting report. We've got a big report coming up over the next couple of weeks, of course. Kentucky Derby coming. So you want to follow all my information through the Triple Crown and past Keeneland, be sure to sign up free, jeremyplonk.substack.com, and get on the list, and we'll be sending you content each day. All right, everybody, have a great Saturday night. Good luck on Sunday at Keeneland. Our next broadcast will be on Tuesday night when the Keeneland Look Ahead premieres at 8:30 Eastern for the Wednesday card. So we'll see you again on Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern. Have a great night, everybody.